Good morning. It is 11:30 Houston time. How are y'all doing? I'm back to share more news with you, okay? All right. So first there's a lot to cover, but for this show today, I just want to share my thanks first of all for staying tuned. We've been able to share videos here and there the past few months, but haven't had a chance to do a live show lately. So now happy to share some continued news, the same stuff you've been hearing about the backlog. Okay. There's backlogs in several different situations. We just had a call earlier today, for example, that someone's had a petition pending for about 2 years and it's been approved now. But pending for 2 years, usually we think, okay, maybe the sponsor is a resident. It's common for that to happen because, if the visa bulletin shows a longer wait time, there's sometimes not necessarily a reason for the petition to be approved quickly. But the visa bulletin for F2A for spouses, for example, and children under 21, it's current, right? But in this situation, actually, the spouse is a U.S. citizen, and the petition was finally approved last year, 2021, and then the the got case got stuck. They paid the fees. It's two sets of fees for Department of State. Okay, you pay it on the ceac.state.gov website, and they paid it last year, more than a year ago. And what we normally also ask in a preliminary consultation discussion is, okay, well, we're just trying to problem solve here, right? So we're happy to do that for y'all. By the way, we offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. And so stay tuned to the end of the towards the end of the show. This probably lasts about 15 minutes, okay, for today, because I got to get back to work. Um, but yeah, you have to provide that secret code so you can access that free 15 minutes. We're happy to help you. We want to help as many people as possible, point you in the right direction if possible. And here's the thing. So today, this morning, one of my team members also asked, okay, well, you paid the fees. Then did you upload the civil documents? There's a long list, but for the most part, it's financial documents and pay, which includes pay stubs. You could be a W-2 or 1099, and your most recent tax return. Okay, that's very important. And also, of course, the criminal police record, depending on the country, but most of the time they refer to it as a police certificate. Okay, and essentially that just means to check your background history. Sorry, I gotta get the dog. One second. All right, I'm back. Gotta let the dog in, otherwise it's gonna scratch at the door forever. But yeah, drop any questions in the comments. Um, Let me know where you're from. I'm always interested how far y'all are, how far this YouTube channel is reaching people. And let's see here. I also want to share with you that we do have a Facebook group. It's called Green Card Guys Academy. Check that out. We're going to provide more information that's helpful. For example, what's going on with the visa statistics, depending on on the top visas or most common visas across the world, and see where people are more backlogged than not. Okay, so here's also some information I want to share with you from this month. Oh, it's July 1st. So last month, June 2022, from the National Visa Center Immigrant Visa Backlog Report. It's just too many people backlog. It's unfortunate. And there's solutions to this. Okay, friends. It's solutions. Sometimes you don't have to hire a lawyer for this. You could submit a inquiry to National Visa Center and ask them. And generally, depending on the situation, you could ask for expedite requests, but you have to be eligible for it, okay, or qualified, I guess you could say, in this situation. It's not for everyone. Of course, the most common reason is because of medical concern, medical emergency, and for that reason, it's important for that person to come back or come into the United States much sooner. So we've had several clients that we've had to do that for, and some people we couldn't do it for. We asked anyway, and they're very, the National Visa Center is very particular. So how it works right now is because of pandemic, and because there's just not as many officers, consular officers working at the consulate or U.S. embassy. It's just like any business, for example, right? If they can't fulfill the cases or customers, they people have to wait. So unfortunately, it's affected a lot of people. So in fact, this June 2022 report shows that it's affecting at least 455,000 people at the minimum. Okay. Um, but you have to look. The thing is, a lot of people ask us, John, or tell us, I'm fed up with the government. I get it. So am I. I am also fed up, especially Congress. They got to get their act together. But that I'll say that for next week's live show. So, in terms of reform, but here's the thing: you got to make sure that you've done at least three things. Okay, and then you can definitely get angry. Okay, number one, before you can do these three things, you need to get the new case number, and it's from the National Visa Center. So you get this case number. You normally don't have to do anything proactively to get this case number. Okay. You get it from after the petition is approved by USCIS. And what they do is they transfer the case to National Visa Center. It usually, on average, takes a month. Now, when we ask for expedited and got it approved, granted, that new case number, we got it in less than 2 weeks. So that's been fairly common lately in that situation. But after you get that case number, here's the three things. Number one, you have to pay the fees. It's $445 per person, per applicant. And applicant in this situation, we mean the beneficiary. By the way, I'm happy to answer any questions as the best I can. So I see there's one. But I also want to mention what step two is. Okay, you pay the fees. Step number two is to fill out the form DS260. Okay, it will take some time. It can be frustrating. What I recommend is you have all information possible so you can fill it out. What we're going to do for y'all is for those, everyone's budget's different. Of course, we help clients take care of this step if they already done a petition. In fact, but we like to help people from start to finish. Okay, that's what we're all about as part of our vision. Okay, helping your families come to America to live legally. Okay, and next week we'll talk about what are the other options other than family-based visas. Okay, now after you've completed the DS260, then you upload the civil documents. I believe it's across the board now. Every country, I could be wrong, but every country should be able to. They should have set it up by now that every country you can upload those civil documents online. Okay, in the ceac.state.gov website. All right, now to Arnold 20222s. You have a question. Your I-360 was approved last year, and they sent that's great because that takes forever, at minimum 2 years. I hope it didn't take you too long for that. And you sent your 485 in May 2022. So, okay, a couple months ago to Vermont Service Center, it looks like VT. And yesterday I took your fingerprints. Wonderful. When can you expect to get your interview for green card? Watching from Miami. Okay, what's going on? I don't know what it is. Is it Miami is always the party city, right? That's what I think of associate with. Let's see here. So, I mean, generally anything related to 485, regardless of the basis. I mean, of course, you can check on the USCIS.gov website. Click the drop down, go to tools section, and then there's in the middle, there's a processing times. And after you click that, you click the form number, and then typically the field office or which service center it's related to. So in your situation, Vermont Service Center. And let's see here. Actually, let's see if we can do that for you right now. Give you an idea, okay? Real time. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. All right, there we go. Let's see if it's big enough. Okay. Now go to, all right, what you want to do, Arnold. I know when y'all look at these processing times for several months, you're going to be frustrated. Okay. Don't take it completely to heart, but it's just average timing for the most part. Um, I know during Trump administration, they really tried to scare folks. Okay, so on the right side, right column, click on case processing times, and because what they did under Trump administration is they click form and click the arrow I3. I mean, so 485. What the basis is, I believe it should fall under family base, possibly. Okay, then we go to Miami. But I know I-360 goes under employment base, so we'll check both. Okay. All right, so let's check this. 15 and a half months. So this is something new in the President Biden administration. They show 80% of cases are completed within 15 and a half months. I like to think that's a bit more accurate to share as opposed to the previous administration. They just didn't have the 80%. So of course everyone's like 15 and a half months or 20 months for everyone. The reason what happened before is because if they had it 20 months, people ask, of course, does it actually take 20 months? No, it's just because there's always like a few bad apples. I'm sorry, not the case itself, but maybe some cases got lost, it just got shuffled around. Another thing is that, so because of that, it inflated the length of time inaccurately. Another thing, I'm not sure if it's accurate either, but you can type in when your receipt date is. So let's just put in, okay, let's just put May 1st, 2022. I'm just gonna, for you, okay, Arnold. And let's go here. Your case is processing normally. Your earliest you can submit questions. Okay, now that's crazy. It's just, now this part is similar to the Trump administration. They basically don't want you to contact them until October 16th, 2024, based on this receipt date of May 1st, 2022. And it makes sense to some extent because there's so many cases, there's thousands of cases, and unfortunately, they just don't have enough employees. I mean, they have the live website chat with Emma, and there's actually a live person answering those questions. It's not, from what I understand, it's not like a chat bot. Okay, so that's just something to consider. But there are other situations where you can contact Emma or contact the hotline. But I really recommend trying the live website chat actually, because you can get a lot of things done. So we'll have a video for you about that next week on what you can get done through the website chat. Okay, let's see here. So hopefully that gives you an idea. Yeah, that's a pretty cool feature on the. So hopefully you can see it there. But again, it's not. Some people think the USCIS case status online is like on point. Like it's not the. Hopefully, it's more. I'm not sponsored by Domino's, but Domino's has a pizza tracker. I've only ordered from them a couple times in the last couple of years, but they have a pizza tracker where it's really accurate. They tell you when the pizza's in the oven. They tell you when it's done. They tell you when it's in the car for delivery or for ready for pickup. USCIS is not that advanced. Okay, so just keep that in mind. They're not a private company. I mean, even having the ability to appear in immigration court virtually using WebEx, it took a pandemic to get that done. It took them forever, and they finally figured it out because, of course, they don't want their judges to get sick or become ill. Okay, so let's see. I want to share with you that page for the Department of State. Okay, I do see another question. All righty, let's see. Okay, Celerina, your question is: you were apprehended in McAllen. You're out of status. Okay, I'm assuming you entered without a visa, and then you have a removal case, but your case is not in court yet. I have something pointing you in the right direction on that. Okay, so Celerina, is there a possibility that my case may be dismissed? It depends when you entered. Okay, so the prosecutorial discretion, uh, it I believe if you entered, it depends when you entered. Number one, okay, if you entered before November 20th, 2021, if I can, it's either 20. Sorry, it's been a while since it's been a week since I looked at it since we were focused on H1B. But I don't remember exactly right now. Let me see if I can check it. Actually, um, usually I'm pretty good at remembering things. But okay, I know it's November 20th. So let me check the timing. There it is. Okay, November 1st, 2020. So if you entered before then you're more likely to get your case dismissed without having any relief. And relief is a whole other episode I can talk about, but the most common one is, people who enter recently. People think about asylum, but if you don't have fear of fear of your country, of specific people or groups of people in your country fleeing violence, then you shouldn't apply for asylum. But you should speak to an asylum attorney about that. So sorry, I go on tangents, but of course, that's just one consideration. That's one factor that the U.S. government looks at specifically, Department of Homeland Security. Okay, the second thing they look at is public safety concern. Do you have any crimes in the past? Okay, Celerina, I'm assuming you don't, but I don't like to assume things. And the third thing they look at is, are you a threat to national security? Now, for most people, it's not. You're not a national security threat, but they have that just in case, of course, understandably. But so think about that. Where's your court at, by the way, Celerina? Is it Houston? Because usually, sometimes it like defaults Houston or Dallas, San Antonio. Actually, I believe San Antonio since you came through McAllen. But either way, you might want to consider speaking to a lawyer. Doesn't have to be me, of course. Just trying to be here to point you in the right direction. Asylum cases, I'm sorry, we don't help with that. We do refer to several lawyers. One that I can think of right now, but of course you have to do your own due diligence. Is Brian Manning. Check. He's also on YouTube. He puts out content out there to share some tips. So appreciate the hearts, by the way. Thank you so much. If you enjoy this content, smash the like button down below. Let's see here. Celerina, you also said you enter with a tourist visa. Okay. That I mean that makes your case stronger for sure, especially if you've been here for 8 years now. Okay. So you've established a life here. That's very good. And you've been here for a long time. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't like to assume, but I think I have an idea of your situation. Celerina, if you don't mind, give us a call at this number right up here. Okay, I just changed our number so we know how many people call from YouTube, by the way. But 720-740-4247. Um, yeah, we've had a situation where we've had several clients where people get apprehended because, they're just usually within 100 miles of the US Mexico border or even US Canada border, and they ask for papers, right? Randomly, it could be border checkpoints. Don't want to assume your situation, but it kind of sounds like that, so especially since you've been here for already a long time. So, and this is what happens. Sometimes they detain people, and we've had to get people released on bond. And if, some of the clients it's much easier to get them out on bond and get their case dismissed completely out of court, meaning you don't have to go back, whether it's remotely or in person, when the person is married to a U.S. citizen, of course. But not saying that's the only way. But this person was already had a established relationship with the person, and then was able to get married while in proceedings. Um, so that's something to think about. So don't for the folks out there watching now or later, don't assume that just because you're not married now, uh, don't assume that that doesn't mean that you can't get your case dismissed. Because even if you get married during proceedings, meaning while your case is pending, um, you know, we provide proof. For example, if you've been communicating via WhatsApp, any kind of chat program, and we can clearly show the history. Obviously, we don't have to provide every single message. I understand it can get a little intimate, so you don't have to provide every single message, but we want to go back, whenever that relationship or that communication started, or if Facebook, any of that, because all these platforms keep our data, so it's there at least, unless you've taken proactive action to delete it, but most people don't. Oh, you're visiting a friend in McAllen? Yeah, so it's just too close to the border. So, I mean, it's basically a border. And yeah, most people don't know it. So, I mean, don't give yourself a hard time on that, Celerina, but there are options. Let's talk about it. Appreciate the love. Again, if y'all enjoy the content, the way we put it, share information, share tips, please smash the like button. Greatly appreciate it. And please, if you know anyone in a similar position or just have an immigration question, please share our video. We greatly appreciate it. We're just, we put a lot of time into these videos, sharing free tips. So let's see here. Arnold, I want to go back a comment. Your case is at the Vermont Service Center. Okay. You heard they will move to NBC, National Benefits Center, and will schedule interview at local office. Yes. Typically that's how it's done. They just shift, for caseload, because Vermont Service Center definitely has a lot of cases. It's taken them longer to even just physically deliver a official receipt notice. Okay. It's just taking them longer across the board for any case type, unfortunately. So that's just something to consider. So, but one way we figure that out, if they received it, number one, we send by tracking. These are things that you can use. This is what we do. Before you even mail it, okay, friends, scan your package. At least make a paper copy. I mean, we scan everything, but because a lot of y'all, I'm hesitating because a lot of y'all don't. And then if USCIS loses your package, and especially when you've sent original certified documents, which, by the way, you don't have to send original documents. A photocopy is fine, but we'll provide more tips about that later. Number one, sorry, I know I reached past 15 minutes. Keep watching, because we got the secret code coming up soon. But here's the thing. After you scan it, you can provide a form called G1450. Okay, not every situation accepts that form. They should, but we just received some reports that there's a service center is rejecting it. Okay, I believe it's when it's with premium processing. But that from what we understand, that should not be happening. So G1450, you can put your name, you can put your phone number and email. And what they do is they email or text you. I don't think they do both, but they do one of those, either of those, and they provide the receipt number, basically. So they send with the 3 letters, and then the rest of it is numbers. Okay, but they usually don't put your name with it, so it might be a little confusing, but it's related to your case. Okay, so I want to share the secret code. It is right over here, if I can find it. There you go. You could have guessed it. It's Green Card Guys. It's on the bottom left of your screen. So friends, share that code, and then give us a call right up here. Or if you have time, fill out our form. Just answer a few questions, and our cares team will call you within 24 hours on a weekday. greencardguys.com. Thanks, friends. Y'all have a wonderful day.